Hey, what's up everyone? MonadoMax here. I'm pretty scared to do this video. I feel like it's going to be a controversial video where I could get a lot of dislikes, but I don't really care. You know, I've gone through the sore hate. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch Pro. I am not excited for this thing. In fact, I think it's kind of a bad idea in terms of where they're going with the Switch Pro, with how all the rumors and credible leakers talking about the thing. It sounds like a really exciting system, but it's reminding me a lot of a similar system with Nintendo that really didn't get the support that was talked about till just for the first year of this console. And I'm talking about the Nintendo 3DS XL, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, sorry. So let's just go over the rumors first, and then I will tell you what scares me, why I don't like this, and why I'm worried. So it's rumored that the Nintendo Switch Pro is going to have 4K support, which I think that's great. It's great to have that option. Doesn't really matter to me, but I think that's fine. Exclusive games. Nate Drake is talking about how he's heard that exclusive games are coming to the Nintendo Switch Pro, especially from third party. I take that like, oh, there's first party and especially third party from that quote. I throw it onto the screen. It really worries me for that, and we'll get into why. The Switch is going to have a OLED screen. I think that's pretty cool to have a Switch Pro OLED screen. It's apparently supposed to be a more powerful system, and that's great, but there's reasons why I think this is an awful idea, and yeah, that's pretty much all the rumors. The more recent rumor is that it may not be coming out this year now. They have about a month to figure out something with the chip that's not working well into the system, and if they can't get this fixed in a month, then it's most likely not coming out at all this year in early 2022, which I really want the Switch Pro to come out now, whenever it's supposed to come out, because I'm tired of talking about the Switch Pro every single year. We've had to be talking about this Switch Pro since 2018, because that's when it was rumored, was 2018, and then here we are in 2021 still talking about this rumored Switch Pro. And it looks very possible we might still be talking about this Switch Pro in early next year. And I know it's not going to be called Switch Pro till, me personally, I feel like Nintendo Switch XL is a very possibility name. They brought back the Nintendo Switch, or the Lite name, which was used for the DS, and they are calling it the Switch Lite. They brought back that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they brought back the Switch XL, use the XL name, or maybe, well, no, there's no way they would do new Nintendo Switch. I think Nintendo realizes how confusing that was. So let's jump into my concerns. This system is sounding a lot like the Nintendo new 3DS XL, which I have right here. This system right here was talked about being the new future of the 3DS, that so much support was coming into this thing, exclusive games from Nintendo. People would be using the C-Stick. This would be a very important feature to other Nintendo 3DS games. The system was going to be so powerful. The 3D would be utilized so much. Is going to be so great about this system that will change the 3DS. I fell for that, and that's why I bought this day one. I feel like the 3DS didn't deliver on a lot that was talked about and heavily promoted, which was the whole exclusive games. We got 2 exclusive games from Nintendo, and that was Xenoblade Chronicles 3D and Fire Emblem Warriors. And the whole thing with the 3DS is that games would be able to run better. Like, I mean, they used Hyrule Warriors Legends, I believe is what it's called, the Hyrule Warriors 3DS game. They promoted that with that game, the game is going to run so much better on the 3DS, and they were talking about how future games would be doing the same thing, how games would be running so much better, all of that good stuff. Do you see what I'm going with this? Well, basically, they didn't deliver on that, and it's understandable why Nintendo didn't, because their 3DS install base was too big compared to the new Nintendo 3DS XL install base. You see where I'm continuing going at with this? The Switch Pro is going to be a very similar thing. They're going to promote the exclusive games. They're going to be like high rewards, Age of Calamity. They're going to be like, oh, we heard the complaints. The game's going to run so much better on the Switch Pro. I feel like this is going to be a common thing for at least the first year of the Switch Pro. They're going to be talking about how games are going to run so much better and look so much better, so much cleaner, frame rate 20 times better, all of that good stuff. And I'm fine with third parties doing that, but when Nintendo is coming out and being like, oh yeah, we're developing for this system, it's going to be huge, I'm bothered by that. The reason why I'm bothered by that is there's no way that Nintendo's going to care that much about the Switch Pro. The reason why is the original Nintendo Switch right here, the install base for it is huge. We have over 80 million Switches sold. And not to mention the Switch Lite, they're definitely going to care about the Switch Lite, because I believe the Switch Lite has been a massive success. I don't know the numbers, but I always see people talk about the Switch Lite. They're going to have too many Switches install bases that they can't care about the Switch Pro. They're going to price the Switch Pro up since it's probably not going to be $300. If it is, that's awesome. I think Nintendo should make sure that their Nintendo Switch Pro is a $300 system, not go overpriced. But since it has an OLED handheld screen, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. The PS Vita had an OLED screen, but they had to get rid of it because it was costing too much. And I think that's going to be a similar situation, except they'll actually price the Switch the Switch Pro more pricey because, you know, OLED. But my concern is that this system right here is still going to sell like crazy, and the Switch Pro isn't going to deliver the numbers that Nintendo's hoping. And I think we're going to see third parties, first parties focus more on developing for the original launch-based console of the Nintendo Switch than focus on the Nintendo Switch Pro. Because that's what's happened with this bad boy right here, the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Developers were more focused on developing for the original 3DS, and then once that happened, this came out, they developed it, and then they slowly, after the first year, stopped caring for this thing. And it makes sense. They're obviously going to care about the system that's going to make them more money. The Switch Pro isn't going to sell it's going to sell. It's going to make great numbers. But overall, Nintendo's obviously going to pick the Switch, the regular Switch right here. They're going to focus on developing this more than the Switch Pro. We'll see them do the 4K stuff, but I feel like the Switch Pro is going to be just not a great thing. It's going to sound great for the first year, maybe a year and a half, and then they're going to slowly stop developing for it and then focus more on the regular Switch, since that's where the install base is. I'm not excited for the Switch Pro for that reason. I struggled to make the money to buy this as a kid. This was the first thing that I bought, like a console handheld on my own with the money that I made for it. I bought it with this, and because I really thought, you know, Nintendo was going to deliver, like they said. They talked about exclusive games. They talked about how games would run better, look better. The C-Stick would be used a lot, and it was. All of that was used. But then after a year later, I've said it already, they didn't care. They don't care. I didn't want to make this video. I wanted to wait till more about what's happening with the Switch Pro. I wanted to wait till an official name happens, but when it's officially announced, I'm sure I'm going to be doing a video updating how my thoughts are. I hope I haven't made you all mad about doing this video. I see people not bringing up this system right here, and I think we should use what happened with this, compare it to the Switch Pro, because I know a lot of people are hyped for having, you know, better frame rate, games looking better, all of that good stuff. I just think Nintendo and third parties aren't going to care after a year, you know. They're going to focus on getting the most sales possible, and getting the most sales possible is working with the Switch Lite and the regular Switch launch model right here. That's my thoughts on the Switch Pro. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Am I crazy for thinking this? Because I feel like No one's talking about it. And the fact that the Switch system's probably going to be $350, $400 in my opinion. And they're probably going to still sell the launch Switch model for a bit and then slowly get rid of it, and then the Switch Pro being our main Nintendo console. I don't know. There's a lot that we need to figure out about this thing. And yeah, I'm worried though. I am worried. But anyways, I've talked way too much. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know everything. I want to know what you thought about the video, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the Switch Pro. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out our Discord server, and follow me on Twitter. Guys, I had a lot of fun talking with you today. Hopefully I don't wake up in a couple days and look at how this video is performing and see the amount of massive dislikes I'm about to get, but this is coming from a major Nintendo fan. I say it with love. So, yeah. I'm scared to end this video because I know I'm going to get so much hate probably. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.